Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're all having a lovely weekend. I'm not. Somebody that I've watched on and off for the past 4 years, and I've gone to listen to interesting discussions on a number of different topics, regardless of whether I always agree, has been banned from Twitch for, in my opinion, disingenuous reasons. And I wanted to go over this. The name of that streamer is Destiny. He discusses random things that are going on, modern events, politics, and the one reason that I've always found his stuff interesting, even if I find myself not always agreeing, and most certainly probably not voting for the same candidates that he would vote for, is because he always tends to come at things from a rational perspective. He doesn't come at it from an ideologically possessed perspective. That's a word that you'll hear me use a lot on this channel, ideologically possessed, where I don't feel like I'm having a conversation with a person. I feel like I'm having a conversation with an ideology. I feel like I'm having a conversation with an idea, but it wasn't your idea. Like somebody else put it into your head. It's very kind of boring nowadays in the very divided political climate where I can meet someone and I ask what they think about one thing, and then based on how they present it to me, I just know exactly what they're going to think on 42 other issues. It doesn't seem like the reason that they believe what they believe is because of any specific set of principles. It doesn't seem like the reason they believe what they believe is because they did a lot of thinking and came to this conclusion. It's just kind of like a bumper sticker. And it's honestly very, very boring, and it can be very, very lonely to surround yourself with people who are in echo chambers. And something I've always appreciated about that channel is even if it's not particularly popular, even if it's going to get him shit from his audience, he comes to the conclusions that he comes to based on evidence and reason and everything that he finds. And even when I disagree, I very much so enjoy listening to the perspectives. I am going to go out there on a limb and say that we might not be voting for the same people. That being said, that does not mean that that channel is not an amazing source of information, entertainment, and discussion for me and many other people who want to listen to those discussions. Now, one of the things that I've appreciated about it as well is his willingness to have conversations with virtually anybody and not come to the conversation assuming that that person is genuinely evil, even if he very much so disagrees with them. He talks to them as if they are human beings, regardless of any of the disagreements that he has, and he's always willing to have a 1 or a 2 or a 3 hour conversation with somebody, even if it's somebody who he vastly disagrees with, because he understands that the way that you build bridges and the way that you get people out of their echo chambers is by having real conversations. And there are several reasons that Twitch has stated that they have banned this individual, and there are many people who have been kind of wondering what the reasons are. One of the reasons was because they say that he has said certain things in debates regarding trans people that were not exactly towing a particular line, or that he aggravated certain communities. What I find particularly interesting about this is that during the anti-SJW surge, where there was a lot of money to be made in telling people what they wanted to hear, and also going on anti-SJW rants, that most of his content was actually very pro-trans, and actually content that was converting conservatives to understanding trans issues. And there are just a number of different examples here dating back to 2017, whether you have this debate, whether you have, let's see, what do you have over here? Again, transracialism back in 2017, debating this, another one. There's just a bunch of these. My internet's kind of slow right now, so you're not getting the picture on a lot of them. Again, this was an interesting one where he got a conservative to understand that side. This is another one. And another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. So I just fundamentally don't buy that. There was another reason that was given, which is that it was because he had hate rated somebody, and there is considerable evidence that that never happened. Again, that you would have had to be a time traveler for that to happen. And then there are people saying, well, it must be because he talked to people that he's not supposed to talk to. And what I find particularly interesting about this is that in the New York Times, they did an article 3 years ago. Now, there are certain elements of this article that I kind of rolled my eyes at. The original picture they used for this article kind of mixed together people that I thought just didn't belong to be mixed together, but whatever. But in this particular article from the New York Times, they're actually talking about how somebody was de-radicalized from further right content as a result of actually listening to Destiny speak to some of the people that he was listening to. Because he understands that if you want to actually get people to think differently, or you want somebody to be open to new ideas, you have to meet them where they are with their ideas. And he's been one of the few people who's been willing to do that with many different communities over the past several years, and I think he's done a lot of good for the world as a result. And the idea that you're simply going to fucking ban him off a platform where there's so much illegal shit, you have people watching copyrighted material, you have people watching pay-per-view television on Twitch, you have people that are, again, like doing push-ups with their camera zoomed in on their tits and blowing microphones and giving them blowjobs for $1. And then on this platform, you have people cursing and screaming at each other all day. Given all of the garbage that is on this platform, you're going to ban someone that has done this much good over petty crap? Do I agree with everything he says? Do I think everything has been perfect? No, but that's not what's going to be true for people who stream 8 to 10 hours a fucking day every single day for 10 years. Sometimes they're going to put their foot in their mouth, and sometimes you might just want to weigh the good that they've done for the world with the things that pissed you off. And I honestly don't even really necessarily believe that this is about the times that he has actually put his foot in his mouth. I think this is about people that aren't able to engage on his level, that aren't able to actually have the conversations on his level, that just want him gone. You're going to ban somebody who's been on that platform for 10 years, who's probably done a lot of good for online discourse, probably gotten a lot of people out of their echo chambers, probably gotten a lot of people talking to each other that never would have talked before, simply because you're salty. I find that to be personally disgusting. I stand with Destiny, fuck Twitch for banning him, and one of the things that I figured I would do, least thing I could do, is delete my account. So this is my Twitch page over here, and I will not have a Twitch page anymore after this. I actually just have to do the two-factor authentication code thing over here. We're going to do that. My code is 7296173. Remember my computer, and yeah. Fuck you, Twitch. Seriously. You have no idea what you've done. I forget who said it. I'm really pissed that I can't credit them, but they said something along the lines of, it's very difficult for certain groups to tell who is an imperfect ally and an enemy. And they treat you like an enemy rather than treating you as an imperfect ally. And I think that that is an absolute crying shame. You have no idea how many people are not going to be exposed to new ideas, who are not going to be able to leave their echo chambers, who are not going to be able to have conversations and discourse with their fellow man and woman again as a result of you deleting one of the best channels that was on Twitch for helping people get out of them. And I understand that there are a lot of people that are going to say, I hate this person because of his opinion and blah, blah, blah. I did a community post in defense of him, and a lot of people who are commenting with some of the top upvoted comments saying, screw him, he believes X. And I've listened to his streams long enough to know that not only did he never say X, but he doesn't believe X. But the amount of upvotes that it got was enough to convince me that there are people out there that rather than being able to make a rational argument against something that he said or engage, that they just want to be able to kind of throw red paint on him and then have all the little, all the little robots go up and attack, because that actually works. It's a very effective way of slandering people. And there are also people out there that have said, well, there was a person, let's hypothetically say that they're actually, I don't believe they're correct. Let's say that one of the people in this community did something that was incorrect to somebody else. When you have a stream where you have 10,000 or 5,000 or 15,000 people watching live, do you control those people? Like, do you have control over those people? You have less control over those people than Future Motion does over people replacing batteries in their electric skateboards. And this is something that I've discussed in a recent video that particularly pissed me off, where you have a politician that said that he got an anonymous threat, and as a result of that anonymous threat, he was not going to consider a bill that I was pushing forward because he claims that anonymous threat came from somebody who watched my video, or maybe from me. As if I have control over my audience. As if when 125,000 people on a channel with over 1 million subscribers watch a video, that I get to personally control the actions of every single one of those people. I find it to be a disgusting way of shutting down discourse, a disgusting way of slandering a human being by claiming that you are a bad person because one of the people that watched your video did something that I don't approve of. Particularly when the person who made the video wouldn't even approve of that being done. I think it's a really, really low effort and disgusting way to shut people down. And I think Twitch should be ashamed of themselves. And I think the people that are applauding this right now really have no idea how much damage that they are doing to their communities, because that was one of the best bridges that you had from people who disagree with you to potentially understanding your issues and wanting to get out of their own echo chambers. Honestly, if there is damage that is done as a result of there being less of these bridges, well, you did it to yourself. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. And if you're one of the people at Twitch that was responsible for this, fuck you.